I always say, like, you know, wherever you go, whatever you do, you never forget where you came from. This is Tom Sandoval in Making a Portrait. We all make plans for the future, like something we're looking forward to, whether it's you know, Coachella or some sort of music festival or a concert or an event or a wedding. When all this first started, there was a lot of mystery.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't know what was going on, like what was gonna happen. We didn't know if grocery stores were gonna close. Like everybody was kind of freaking out. You know, and then we kind of got into the rhythm of it, but it was still very, very separated, very quarantined. I was losing my mind, and not losing my mind, but like just like you said, like I was getting stir crazy. And one thing I would do, I'd work out, then do work stuff, and then whatever, and then I would like get ready, and Ariana would be like, what are you getting ready for? Where are you going right now? I was like, I'm gonna go get some gas and stuff I said, but I would like get ready. I'd like get ready like I was going like out to dinner. It was, I don't know why, it actually really helped me. Like I'm used to like, you know, shaking hands and hugging people and taking pictures and just being around people and being super social. And when that goes away, it's like, yeah, you complain about it, but then when it's not there, you're just like, oh man, I really miss it. I was always sort of a unicorn growing up. Just I kind of marched to a beat of a different drum. I was very like I went to Catholic school growing up, and every year they would have a talent show at our school picnic where they would have, you know, carnival rides and games and all this stuff. I remember I got into the talent show my first time in 3rd grade. And I was CNC Music Factory that I did, and I lip synced and danced to it. I took 1st place. All the way from 1st graders to 8th graders, I was in 3rd grade and I took 1st place. My parents got divorced when I was in like 4th grade. And you know, sometimes that can be very traumatic to people. It was, but it wasn't in a sense. You know what I mean? And it was great. But the reason why I bring this up is because it's a segue to like one of my first pop culture like moments in my life. So my dad starts dating this girl and she says, you know, if you get your ear pierced, I'll get you a diamond. So he's like, all right, I'll do that. So my dad gets his ear pierced, and because my dad got his ear pierced, I was like, Dad, you gotta let me get my ear pierced. You can't like, you know, you gotta lead by example here, right? If you're getting your ear pierced, I should be able to get mine. I was like I thought George Michael was like back in like, you know, Faith and all that, like, you know, that whole era. I just thought he was like the coolest of the cool, the Aviators. And so I got my ear pierced in 4th grade, and I remember when I went back to school, Catholic school with uniforms, my dad had got me like previously like a little cross chain, like, you know, like everybody had in the early 90s. And so I like took that cross off and put it on my ear and like walked into school with it, and man, I felt so cool, but I got in so much trouble. So yeah, that's like kind of like one of the first like pop culture icons that I can really remember, like being so affected by, even like style-wise. Dude, I had so much fun growing up. Like we would adventure around in old buildings and build tree houses, and my mom was a firefighter. So she worked 24-hour shifts. And so like around like 7th, 8th grade, me and my buddies would sneak out, and then we would go like hang out at my mom's house and like, you know, steal her wine coolers and like, you know, steal one of her cigarettes and like, I don't know what we were doing, but it was exciting. And so we did it. We got chased by cops. We got chased by people. One time I will never forget, we got away from 4 cop cars chasing us. 4 cop cars, 2 cops on feet. 13-year-olds, man. We weren't doing anything. It's just, you know, we're out past curfew. It's like 2 in the morning and we're dressed in all black and we're just like, dude, we got away from them. It was unbelievable. I was in New York and I was in a situation where I had to find a place to live. And you know how it is in New York, space is fucking limited. Basically, I found a situation where I was gonna rent a room in an apartment, and the guy was like, you have to pay cash, whatever. And so I paid like $1,000 down for like, it was for 2 months. And then he wanted the next $1,000 when I got the keys. So he took that $1,000, wrote me a receipt for like 5H, right? So then when I came back, he wrote me a receipt for like 2G. And he's like, no, you still owe me another $1,000. Well, I was like, I don't have it. So basically he took my money and I was pretty much homeless in New York in the winter. I was in and out of a hostel, the Gershwin Hotel, which every model back in the day knows the Gershwin Hotel. It was crazy. I had my stuff behind the bell desk at the Gershwin. And so I'd be like, oh, hey, can I just grab something out of my bag real quick? And they're like, yeah, we'll take you back to the room. And I would like go in there and like change clothes. I only had one pair of shoes at the time, so I was like shoving plastic bags in my shoes to keep my feet dry. But I could have gone back to St. Louis, gone back home. But I was going to castings, I was working, and I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna like stick it out. And I ended up booking a huge music video for Bon Jovi. This is back when they would spend like, you know, $1 million on a music video. But I ended up booking that, and it led to a lot of awesome things. But if I would have packed up and like been like, oh, I'm screwed, go back home, I never would have had that. I never would have had that awesome experience and that great like step up to get to that next level. I always say, like, you know, wherever you go, whatever you do, you never forget where you came from. I feel like when you hit your 30s, you sort of, you look at life a little differently. You start to value it more. You're not as, as risky. As far as who I am as a person, you know, I feel like we're all a product of our environment. And, you know, my parents got divorced, but I looked up to them in so many ways. They were both fucking heroes, in my opinion. You know, obviously they say your parents are your models for God. You know, you take after them. Like, I feel like it's less about the star constellations that are 120,000 light years away and more about the people that you are around. You know, I find myself saying things or reacting to things the way my mom would, or the way my dad would, or even the way some of my really close and best friends do. My mom is a 5'1" firefighter. And then my dad worked 2 full-time jobs to support us in the same building. He worked for a job recruiter and he sold insurance. I had an awesome brother. My brother's a doctor in psychology. All the random and weird shit that is like happened and not happened and has led me to a place that I would not change for the world. Like, I feel so happy and so content in where I am at. And I also feel like this is just the beginning. And so I honestly don't think I would change anything, because I would not want to change where I'm at today. So I would not fucking change a thing. There's always people that compare themselves to other people. And especially with like social media today, it's very easy to like go down those rabbit holes but I never do that. I heard a quote, I can't remember who it's from, but it really always stuck in my mind. And that is, when you're truly yourself, there's no way you can be second best.